Okay, wir fangen an. Eine Sache ingelig. Eine Sache ingelig seien da gesessen auf heuche hilsene Bänkelech. Ähnlich zu Kozles, auf welche Goyim sägen Holz. Der erste Ingele, was ist gesessen, nennt zu Herschel, dem Melamed, hat gelernt von unteren Titel. So there were many little boys sitting on high wooden benches, similar to a sawhorse on which the Goyim used to saw wood. The first little boy, who was sitting close to Herschel the Melamed, was studying from under the pointer. Was ist das? An Aleph. Schrei auf ihn. Aleph. So he says to him, what letter is this? It's an Aleph. Shouted it. And he shouts Aleph. A Schotten läuft durch und a Zuckerl, eingewickelt in a farbigen Papierl, geht a Fall über den Tisch. Am Malach, sagt der Rebbe, hat das dir geworfen, weil du lernst gut. So a shadow sort of flew over, and that was a sweet which was wrapped in a colored little piece of paper, and it fell on the table. The Rebbe said, "This an angel has given you, has thrown this to you because you're learning very well." Meisheken ist durch starken Gefällen geworden. So Meisheke liked this, what he saw, very much. Mit Ungeduld hat gewahrt auf sein Rei. So he waited for his turn impatiently. Nicht also, weil ist gewinn jedne noch a süße Sach. And this was not because he was because he longed for something sweet. Süße Sachen hat ihm in der Heim euch nicht gefällt. Some sweet things they weren't lacking for him in his home. Die ganze Maschinerie hat ihm verkischt. This whole mechanism intrigued him. Man darf nur a Geschrei tun auf ein Aleph und a Zuckerl fällt von Himmel. You'd only have to shout at the Aleph and a candy falls from heaven. Und Ott hat ihm Reb Herschel euch angenommen bei die Plätzkes und a Ruf gesetzt auf einen heuchen Bänkel. Was ist es? Hat dem Jattel versetzt a halbe Kascher und schum übrige Hakdomes. So Herschel lifted him up and by the shoulders, and he placed him on this high bench. What is it? He said, and he so he posed this difficult question to the Yattel, this little guy, without any introduction. An Aleph sucht Meisheke mit die Egelech after Stelia. So Meshach answered an Aleph, but his eyes were facing the ceiling. In Siddur Kuk, Aleph, Shrayafim. So Herschel says to him, look into the Siddur. And he answered again, Aleph, and shouted it. Da hat Moshe zusammengenommen alle seine Keuches und langt a River Aleph, als die Bebeches in Beuch haben sich bei alle Englisch abgerissen. So at this, Moshe took all his strength and he shouted out, he bellowed out, Aleph, so that the entrails in the tummies of all the little boys became shaken up. Der Rebbe allein hat sich hakrim getan. The Rebbe himself frowned. Schrei nicht azay, he said. Don't shout as loud as that, he said. Men is bisslich weiß der gangen biskel seien. Und a Zuckerl von Himmel is Mosheken euch gefallen. So slowly they went through the letters of the alphabet until Zion. And a candy fell from heaven also for Mosheken. Nor mit sein scharfen Euro hat derchapt, als Bishas lernen mit ihm, ist dem Rebbens Kohl nicht so lieblich wie mit die anderen Kinder. But he noticed with his very sharp ear that while he was learning, while the Rebbe was teaching him, his voice was not as soft
Loving,
with him. Pardon?
Maybe loving.
Okay, not as loving with him as it was with the other children. Oder warft ihm vor, als schreit zu stark. Oder scheppert sich, als is verschlafen. So, and the teacher reproached him when he shouted too loud, and also picked on him that he was dreamy, that he was not concentrating.
Thank you. Nechama, you're
Right.
Aliyah.
Now we're already in trouble, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to avoid reading today.
No, I'm not going to avoid
I'm
it.
joking.
Dem
Sorry.
zweiten Tag ist Moishekes Verdacht stärker geworden. The second day, Moishekes suspicion became even stronger. Kimat alle Jinglach hat der Malach noch einmal geworfen Zuckerlech von Himmel. Almost all the little boys, the angel gave all the other little boys, she threw them sweets from the heaven. For Mosheken is nicht geblieben, but for him, for Mosheken, they didn't remain. In Mittenlernen Aleph Beis hat a Polmol gehabt, a cook zum Balken. And in the middle of learning the Aleph Beis, he a few times grabbed a look to the balken, to the ceiling. Now here we have the word balken meaning ceiling, but we had
Probably, I don't know. They must be synonyms.
I guess.
They're not quite synonyms. A balcony is more a beam
A beam? Ah,
on the ceiling.
okay.
Okay,
That explains
thank
it. then.
you.
Delia is the ceiling and the balcony is the beam. Für welke Sinn, Asteger, hat ihm der Malach in Ganzen vergessen? For what sin? For example, Asteger. I never know what that expression means. Did the angel completely forget him? Und hat bekommen Anschreien von Reben and had angeschrien von the, and he heard the cry from Herschel.
He got, or the Cummins, he cried, he received, he got.
He received.
He got the shouting.
Yeah, he received this cry from Herschel. Was suchst du auf den Balken, was? What are you looking for up there on those beams? Mext lernen azoi euch. You can learn just like everybody, or just azoi euch.
No, yeah, without looking at the ceiling.
He had already.
I think he's saying to him, why are you looking for candy coming from up there all the time?
Yes.
You can learn without candy. You can learn without an award.
In de Heim, bei dein Mumen, hast du genug gute Sachen. In the house with your auntie, you have enough good things. Die Mama deine macht sie allein. Your auntie, your aunt there, she makes them herself. In jenen Tag is Moisheke gekommen heim warmes Essen und ist zugefallen zu Stehren mit 2 Kashes. So in the same day, Moishke came home for the lunchtime, for the lunch hour, and he came to Stera with 2 questions. Erstens, was hat ihm der Malach azoi nicht vergessen? Got vergessen. The first question is, why did the angel forget him so quickly? Und zweitens, was sagt etwas der Rebbe, als hat a Mama in der Heim? Will nicht kein Mama. Will a Mama, wie alle Jüngerlich. And the second question is, why does the Rebbe say that he has a mama, an auntie in the house? Mosheka, he doesn't want an aunt. He wants a mama, just like all the other children. Alle vist Now, what? Haloimus. So this is all dreams? This is all.
No. It's like a bloody hell.
Like a bloody hell.
Cursed.
So where does the bloody hell come? Where are those words in there, Yankov?
That's the words don't appear there, but that's the meaning of what she is. It's like a curse.
Like a curse. Ziddelt sich Stera oistam in der Welt rein. So this is very, very a terrible thing. Curses Sarah out into the world rein, into the air. Bitter, zis is der Bezdintenesi Bezdienitze
Okay.
Geworden von Moshekes Tenne. And both bitter and sweet did the childless one become from Moshe's outburst or
The complaint. This
complaint
is tiny. In Hebrew, ta'ana, tiny complaint.
from the complaint, a tiny.
Yeah.
Und wie von Gesichten Chein seinen ihr als ungelaufen Tränen in der Augen. And like as if she had eaten chrein, horseradish, a sharp horseradish,
Yeah.
tears come out of her eyes. Hers doch, macht sie. Kiva, was sagt. Listen to this, she says to Kiva, her husband, what he says. Will nicht kein Mama, will a mama, will a mama. Bin ich dir Moschekin, a mama. I mean, this so
Heartbreaking.
it's heartbreaking, but it's also it says so much about her and the child. And she says, look,
It says more about the teacher who was mean.
oh
and
yeah,
bigoted.
we'll come to that. There's plenty on that. Listen,
The teacher is just the beginning. Wait.
the teacher is the cherry on this cake. Look, he wants this little boy. He doesn't want to have an aunt. He wants a mama. He wants a mama. Moishika, I am your mama. I am for you a mama. An emissa mama, a real mama, an emissa mama, a real mama. Jo, mach stere, noch a sei freilicher Erklärung zu kiven. Yes, says Stera, after this freilicher, this happy something to Kiva. What is she doing?
Explanation. Explanation.
Dein klugen Melamed, kennst du sagen, soll die Zung seine zu. Your very smart teacher, you can tell him that his tongue, he should, was soll der Melamed tun mit sein Zung? Das hat Moisheke mehr nicht gekannt Herren. What should the Melamed do with his tongue? This, Moisheken already he cannot hear, weil Steres Werte wären verschwommen in a Bezel Schepitschnisch zwischen ihr.
Shepchenish.
A whisper.
Yeah, right. You read it.
Whisper zwischen ihr and Kevin. Remember this happened once before when with a touching.
Yeah, they always whisper to each other so the child won't hear.
Yeah, but he understands because then the words were sort of lost in the Bezel, the whisperings. What is Bezel? The
Angry.
angry whisperings between husband and wife. Von demos hat Moisheken Bamel als Hirschel oder der kluge Melamed, wie man hat ihm in der Heim gerufen, meet euch zu gebräuchen Mame oder Mumme, wenn redt zu ihm, zu Moisheken, und vergesst sich und sagt Mumme, verhabt gleich und verrichtet. From then on, Moisheken marked that Herschel, or the smart teacher, the way they had called him in the house,
Yeah.
Ignores or distances himself from saying mom.
My daughter is like avoids.
Avoid.
He avoids
Exactly.
using mama or mume.
One moment. He avoids using either word when he talks to him, to Moisheken. And if he says muma, then he quickly catches himself back and he tries to correct it.
Yeah.
Oi.
Ah,
Okay. Lemoshe. Geh Moishke heim und sag der ich mein der Mammen deiner oder die Mama deiner hat geheißen. For example, Moishke, go home and tell your mom, I mean your mother, or your aunt, I mean your mother has said. So. Enough?
yeah. I am dying to read the next section.
Please.
Is that okay, Goldele?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because this is the most terrible section.
Okay.
This is the most, promise me, this is the most terrible section in the book, or this is the most terrible section of this section?
So far, yeah, exactly. The most terrible
I'm
section of
anxious
this
to
section.
hear it.
Everything is getting worse now. Okay. Daarvoor hebben hem staat de kutje die dadelijke ingelag in cheder. That's why, because of the way the Melamed was treating him, the little boys were bothering him. The Melamed doesn't treat him well, so why should they? Moshe hat genommen bemerken, als die ältere Kita ingelach, was lernen schon in Ivre, schäftchen sich jeden Mal, wenn geht zu. He started to notice that the older kids, the seniors, right? Those that are in the higher class, higher grade, that are all already studying Ivre. This Ivre, it's like Hebrew and other subjects. This is how they call the Jewish subjects in the religious circles. How they listen, how they whisper to each other. They whisper to each other each time he comes by. They're talking about him.
Mhm.
Und spielt man be Kampagne mit die Aleph-Beis Ingelach, sagt man ihm, euch zu meiden. Here they avoid, meiden is again, they are trying to avoid him. When they all play in a group, they avoid including him. Oder die erste Zeit geprüft reinstecken a Fingerl in Maul und werden beruhiges. So in the beginning, he tried to just put a finger in his mouth and to get angry. Well, his anger did not affect anybody. Haben ihm die Ingelach gelassen stehen in sein Beruhiges, wie viel sein Herz gelust. So the little boys let him stand there to stay in his anger as much as his heart desired. They did not try to appease him. Now, so what does he do? Very resourceful. Huh? Der sehen, als wären Bräuges ist ein schwaches Gula, oder sich allein genommen, euch so und Chaverim lach zwischen Herrscheles Talmidim lach. Und hat sie nur in Gichen ausgesucht. So now that he saw that remaining angry is a weak remedy. Sgula is a remedy.
Mhm.
So now he started looking by himself for new friends among the Herschel's students. And he very soon he found them. das sind aber alle als gewesen als solche Jingelach, welche seinen Punkt so wie allein gestoßen geworden von Hever. Those were kids that were not really accepted by the other kids also, just like him, because they had other reasons for that lack of acceptance. Those were kids that were
left out by the-
avoided. The other kids avoided them. The Hainu, namely, who were they? Really two invalids. So an invalid, the kids don't want to play with them. Zelme leyatz, aingele mit a weißer Belme auf ein Oig. That's Zalmele, it was a boy with a white cataract on one eye. Was
White,
guckt auf
what?
cataract,
Oh,
on the eye.
okay.
okay? Was guckt auf alle men mit der Seite. He looks at everybody like from the side. His vision is not normal, okay? The ahona of a candle. He looks at everybody like a turkey. Looks
right.
at a grain. So I don't know.
Like a
turkey looks-
chicken looking for a piece of corn or something.
Oh, okay. Now the way it is right, noch etwas eingeladen, another kind of a boy, Shaikele, Ablasser Nefeshel. Ablasser Nefeshel, that's a pale boy, but the way he describes him, Nefeshel,
A soul, a little soul.
yeah, but Nefesh, yeah, it's really Nefesh, right, it is soul, but also the way I see what I see in it is like, he's not saying he is a boy, but he's a Nefesh is also that he's a living being, not quite a human, not a full human. In the Bible, it says Nefesh Chaya.
Mhm.
A chaya, an animal has a nefesh also. So it's like he wants to describe how miserable he looked, how inadequate.
A poor soul, like
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
soul.
a poor soul. Yeah, a blast, and so that poor soul is pale. A blassen Nefeshel mit a verkatteren nasal, with a rolled up nose. So the shape of his nose wasn't right.
Wouldn't you say,
Yeah.
Rob, wouldn't you say a runny nose?
Yes, I would.
Verkatterten, like a katar.
Well, you may be right. This is what I found in my dictionary. I never.
I've never
never-
heard a verkarteten is a rolled up or a runny, but like his nose is constantly running.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, there's something wrong with his nose anyway. I don't know.
A poor soul.
I understood it as a catarrh. You know, a catarrh is like when you sneeze a lot and your nose runs. It's like when you have a cold.
Yeah, I know what you're saying sounds familiar to me. And you may be
Read the
right.
Like the
read the
word
whole sentence and then you'll
P-A-
translate.
Okay.
PT.
But anyway, yeah, I'd like to look it up again. This is what my dictionary said. You know, sometimes I feel the dictionary itself doesn't know, and we know better. You know, so
Well, we
it's possible-
certainly know that this is a poor soul, this little
Yeah,
Shaikala.
yeah, right.
Shaikala.
Yeah. That-
Shaikala and
yeah, the Chaikele was will kein Mol sein, Vatov vehitele nit arop nemen. He never wants to take his padded head off. He has a padded head and he never wants to take it off.
I understand this. I'm always cold. You know, we lose all of our body heat through our head. He's smart.
Yeah, I always wear my hat also in the winter time.
No, you don't. I see you without a hat. Okay.
Ah, you see me in the house. Wait.
All right. It's all right.
Okay, und redet man ihm an, also vergringt sich, wie von wäre,
Säure.
oh, I'm sorry,
Säure.
I wrote on it already, so now it's von Säure Andessen und schreit Mame. If you bother him or if you touch him, so he makes a face as if he is affected by that's again I found in the dictionary goose berries.
Sour.
Sour.
Well,
Sour.
okay. Well, and he screams "mame" just when you touch him. So these are the two friends. Zogen sagt als Ort Alishai auf dem Kopf. He says that he has a fungus on his head. Therefore, die Mame angesagt, soll chas v'sholem dos vatove hitele nit oiston. Therefore, his mama said that God forbid he should not take off his padded head.
What is a lishai?
A fungus.
A what?
A fungus.
Oh,
A
okay.
A fungus.
Okay.
Fungus
Okay.
or psoriasis.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's also, but I just want to ask for 1 minute about, you know, you always hear this, or I hear the expression chas v'sholem. So chas there. So chas, it, you know, means like with like chesed.
No,
No,
No?
no,
So
no,
what
no,
is
it's
it?
not. No. The chas is from the shoresh, the root of chus. That's which means rachmones,
Like mercy.
mercy on us, something like that.
Mercy.
Right,
on us.
Yankev?
Ah,
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
comes,
yeah.
it doesn't come.
Nothing should happen. to
Chas, yeah, you know, in the tefillot, in the prayer, we say chusana, chusa. That this is imperative of chus, from the root chet vav semer. Have mercy.
So it's have mercy.
Like rachem, it's a synonym of rachem aleinu or chusa aleinu, rachem aleinu. Okay,
And also,
yeah, that's yeah.
chas v'sholem and chas v'chalila. Chas v'chalila.
Yeah, well, Khalila is again, it shouldn't happen.
But the idea of chas is mercy.
Yeah.
Bring mercy upon us.
Yeah.
Let us receive mercy.
Yeah. And the shoresh, the root is chuschet vav samer. It's like other verbs in Hebrew, like kam and kum.
Mhm.
You know, kum bachor, kum, like
Yeah.
kum,
Yeah.
to stand up, and kam.
Okay, very
You
good.
use it,
Oh, I see.
okay, without the vowels. So it's the same structure of the verb.
but
And
with
you
mercy.
understand the two words together. Chas v'sholom, chas v'cholela. Not individually. It's the phrase that you need to
Right.
understand.
Right, right. Thanks. Yankee. So, Chas v'sholem, God forbid, like, you know, he should take off his padded hat.
Mhm.
Kennt sich verkillen. He may catch a cold.
It's correct.
Yeah. Aber alle Ingelach, seine Choshed, als rot פושט gerät, a perchele und schämt sich damit. Als hat פושט, the kids think that he has a perchele, and he is ashamed to say that. And perchele, I didn't find in the dictionary, and
Okay,
please help.
because that's a diminutive of order, that he has something on his head that's wrong.
Okay.
Right. My dictionary said a parch is a ringworm.
Yes, that's probably what it is. It's
And what does it mean in English?
a ringworm. It's an infection. It's
An
like,
infection.
Oh, okay, okay. So you got to know English.
It's a fungal infection, a ringworm.
Oh, okay.
Fungus. For having a fungus, he has.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the two friends. So let's see what he's doing with the two friends. Mito die beide Ingelach hat sich Moscheke gechavert ein Tag, a zweiten Tag, diese seinen Nimes geworden.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was socializing with these two little boys one day and another day, and then he got fed up with them.
they got tired of him.
Ja. Hat sich herumgesehen, als da seien zwei Lekishevate, der Schlogene und noch gewicke Nefosheslach. He realized, herumgesehen, he realized that these two kids are foolish, depressed, noch they followers, they
Right.
geben noch, they follow, they like yes people.
They're
Submissive.
like lost souls.
Yeah.
Submissive.
What did you say, Yanke?
Submissive.
Submissive, thank you. So you
Isn't
got
that a
to know
great word?
English.
But that's a great word. Noch gebikkel. Like following after. But that's like
Yeah.
his friend. Remember, he had the experience already with his little friend from across the way. Danka was a very similar kind of boy.
That's
who
right.
also was a very
That's
passive
right.
little creature. And he was the leader. He was the leader there too.
That's right. And here there's a description. Geht a Sprung, geben sie euch. He jumps, they too jump. Geht a cry, they euch. He screams, they too do the same thing. Stellt sich Rakum und geht auf die Hand. He is standing upside down. He's standing on his hands. So they too, they imitate him.
Mhm.
Allein etwas Ufton kennen sie nicht. By themselves, they cannot do anything. They just imitate him. Gehen sie ihm der Fahr noch und gucken chanifedig in die Augen, wie kranke Hinterlach. So they are following him, and they're looking at him with flattery. They're looking into his eyes like sick little dogs.
Yeah.
A chaloshes geht unter von a Sack riechen. One can faint from such behavior. Hat sich Moscheke in ein hellen Frühmorgen angenommen mit Mut, abgetrieben von sich beide Schlimazlen und angegangen auf a Kupke ältere Jinglach von Cheder und wenn gegeben sich zum größten Chwat von der Kampagne zu Schleumke Kupik. So now Moishke took the initiative. In one bright morning, he took courage and he drove away from himself the two shlimach, the two good for nothing boys, and he walked to a group of older boys, and he turned to their leader, really, to the most cheerful boy there. And his name was Shlomke Pupik. You know, Pupik is the belly button. Yeah. זה macht der Shlomke, los mich euch spielen. Look, Moishke, let me play too, include me in your game. And that is the most terrible, this is the most terrible thing now. The most terrible section of the most terrible section. Shlomke, der 7-jährige Chwat, hat genommen Pinklen von Verwunderung. Shlomke doesn't know what to do. Shlomke, the 7-year-old boy, started winking from surprise, or wondering. Moishekes goi bloye Augen hart und mit Verstand geguckt gleich in seine chutzpedike schwarze Egelach. The eyes of Moishke, that were like gray blue, looked with understanding directly into the daring eyes of Shlomke. The
Cheeky
audacious,
or cheeky.
Yeah.
okay.
That sounds like a
Moishke
word.
Cheeky
The
black eyes.
what, say again? Cheeky black eye?
black eyes.
Yeah.
Moishkes
Aggressive.
Kutscherave Ho haben sich wie heute stachendike Flemlach gerissen von unter sein Hitler. The way he describes the colors, but the curly hair or the kinky hair of Moishke looked like with the like bold flames, because they're red from under his head. Die Dreistkeit von dem Reutingen, lebendigen Engel, oh, yeah, I have it here. The boldness of that redness, of that alive boy, is Shlomke allein stark gefallen geworden. That Shlomke liked it. Shlomke liked the way Moishke looked with his redness. Von deswegen hat genommen Stammlen. Still, he started to murmur, aber die Mame sagt, die Mame, Mama is saying, Mama is saying, abgehakt sich und stehen geblieben. And then he cut himself off, cut his speech, and he remained there And he did not continue. He did not continue the sentence. Die Mame sagt, Wemes Mame fragt Mosheke Iber, whose mother, Mosheke asks. Sein Iberfragen ist punta so hart wie sein Kuck. Tritt nicht auf. Whose mother, Mosheke asks again. And his repeating question is difficult, just like his look. And I'd say he's stubborn, like his look. He is not backing up. He's not leaving. You know, he wants an answer to his question. Whose mother? Mein Mama, schreibt sich Schlonke. My mother, Schlonke, gets scared. Sie sagt, danke, die Mame, as du bist. Mame really saying that you are. Was sagt sie? Sag, what is she saying? Say. As du bist a Mamse. My mother is saying that you're a Mamse. My mother is saying that you are a bastard. And that's why we don't include you.
What do you think what could 6- and 7-year-old little boys understand of the concept, the idea of mamzer? What is the mother when she says this to Shlomo Pupik here? What is she saying to him? What is? I mean, she's saying he's bad, but is there some specific something? What's being hurled at him? What is understood by this, by the children?
Well, yeah, we don't exactly know for sure, but it feels like something like a tameh, like it is something unholy, something bad,
Something dirty.
dirty.
I also thought that a 7-year-old might not actually know what the word mamzer is, but you see, it's something that's been permeating in the village. It's not just his mother. It's talk. And
That's right.
Talk.
Yeah, and nobody else is called it. They're not saying this about anybody else. This is an unusual title that he has that nobody else has, and they're pointing at him. So I think even though the 7-year-old doesn't know exactly what it means,
it's a name, and it's a bad name.
Yes.
Let's continue, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, Goldele, you read.
I just want to make amazing. Just 1 minute, just one. You know, what's so amazing about the whole thing is the way Zalman Schneer, he wants to capture every detail of this shtetl life, the cheder, the street, the lekechmacher, the mill, what goes on there, with such detail and such the colors, and yet as if to memorialize it, as if to save it, but at the same time, there's such a feeling that this was such a smothering, irrational society. And it's on the one hand, we memorialize it by writing every detail. On the other hand, it's so smothering. It's horrifying how small it makes it all seem, and how frighteningly debilitating for the individual.
Yeah.
Okay. V'yachmal lebechen keppel at Mosheke bakumen das was Shloimkes Mama sagt von ihm. Azam mis involved the mamzer hat schon einmal gehört fallen von der Millbrickel. Like a smack on his head, Moshe heard what Schlenker said about him. Such a terrible word. But it's not the first time that he heard it around the mill. Die Mama seine Sterne ist damals stark gekocht geworden.
Yeah.
When his mother heard it, she became very upset, very angry. Hat sind hörte, dass Sach nannte und klare. Now he's hearing it closer and probably more often and clearer. Via schwarze Scharretz, like a black, what is Scharretz?
Sheretz is it's a crawling.
Like a curse, like a bad thing.
Yeah, sheretz is like a bug. It's something that a living being that is crawling on the floor.
Mit spottische Eglach ist das herausgesprungen von Schleimkes puppig smile. Like mean eyes. It jumped out of Schleimer's mouth. Gleich im Panama sprung getan und bespeit. Straight out of his mouth, it bounced, and just like you spit it out. Reibendig sich beide Augen, rubbing both eyes, wie von a giftigen Nasspipe. Rubbing both eyes like from a wetness.
Yeah, a
Poison,
toxic,
poison. Gift is
poisonous
wet.
wetness.
Poisonous.
Yes, like a poisonous wetness. Hat sich Moshe abgedrückt an der Seite und betracht, was da ist mit ihm geschehen. Oh wait, let me get
Die zwei.
Moshe removed himself to a side, and he was thinking, what really just happened? Die zwei der schlagene Jingelach, the two boys that he discarded that had problems, seine gewesene Chaverimlech, his one-time friends, Selmele Yatz und Schickelech Perchel, haben sich zu ihm zugestarrt wie zwei kleine Bettlerkes. His two little friends that he discarded, Selma Yatz and Schickelech Perchel, they moved closer to him like two beggars, two little beggars. Gewollten beweisen, sehr Treichschaft. They wanted to show him that they were his true friends. Chutz afille is das, was man sagt auf ihm, hereingeguckt in die mit Tränen verlaufene Augen. Na, Moshe hat sie weggetrieben. But even they, but he even, whatever they said about him, he looked at them.
No,
they looked at him and tears were falling from his eyes. Now Moshe had say weggetrieben, but Moshe removed, chased them away. Yay, macht Go, he said. Punkt sei wie Schleimke Puppet hat Karst getan mit ihm allein. But go, he said, exactly the way Schleimke immediately did that to him. In Keppel hat sich ihm gemischt. His things were turning around in his head. Die Neigigkeit zu Hirschel, der Malamed Tifte, the anxiety, the anxiousness to the teacher's Hebrew, hat ihm in ganzen abgelassen.
Yeah, it's
wait.
Negerigkeit is that curiosity.
The curiosity. He's not
Okay,
interested in learning. He's
curiosity
lost his
to
will to learn.
To his Hebrew, it left him immediately. When als es gekommen sein Rei zu lernen alle Faith, hat noch alt nicht gewusst, was tut sich mit ihm. And when it came his turn to study the Aleph Beis, he still did not know what to do with himself.
Right.
No, hat dem Herschel gemeint. Komet Slamed, la, schreit euch ihn. Schrei euch ihn. Hat Meischike kindisch nachgesagt, vertrachte. Na, was zu schreien, hat nicht gesagt. Well, the teacher said, and he was repeating the letters. Komet Slamed, la. And he yelled at him. But Meshike, in his childish ways, repeated thoughtfully. No, but he didn't yell. He just repeated. Zum ersten Mal hat dem Herschel angerissen waren euer. For the first time, the teacher boxed his ear. Herrstoch, ich schrei euch ihn. Euch schrei euch ihn. Do you hear? I am yelling at you. Euch schrei euch ihn. Haben sich alle jünglich zerlacht. All the children laughed. Wie alle haben sich zerchicket, seine nächtige Gewehren. All the children laughed, and more than all of them, his two friends, welke had Heinz abgetrieben, they laughed the loudest.
All right, go on, this little paragraph, yeah.
Well, it's 2:00. Do you want me to stop? Or should I continue?
Is it 2 or 2:30?
2.
Two.
We have time.
Okay, Selma Yachts and Schickele Park. No, Meshike allein hat kein Tipps nicht getan. His two friends, but Meshike, he himself, he didn't say anything, not a peep out of his mouth. It verschämt sich afille. He didn't even embarrass himself. Mit kindische Akshanis hat no angechmuret die Bremmelach, but like childish
Stubbornness.
Stubbornness, thank you. He he creased his eyebrows. Hat abgelöst dem Kopf und geschwiegen. And he lowered his head and he was silent. Now go umgericht, geht sich avent zu Hirschel del Melamed. But then he looked at his teacher and he said, Rebbe Zek, was ist das a Mamsel?
What does the word ungericht mean? No,
It's like all of a
Ungericht.
sudden,
And- Yes.
unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly, yeah.
Rebbe Zek,
Unexpected.
was ist das
nicht
a
gericht.
Mamsel?
He didn't expect it. It was not expected, right? It's the same. Thank you.
Okay. Der Rebbe ist etwas
Okay, this is
Tuschet
oh,
geworden.
overwhelmed, Metushtash, overwhelmed.
The
And,
rabbi
and
suddenly-
also Metushtash is in Hebrew, it is dizzy.
Okay.
He became
Confused.
dizzy.
Atap getan das Jammelkele auf dem Kopf und genommen Stammeln. He touched the yarmulke that was on his head, and he started stammeln. He stuttered.
Yeah.
Genommen suchen mit die Augen. He was looking with his eyes. He didn't know what to say. Wer hat es gekonnt sagen, Moshe Kenazazach? Who could have told Moshe such a thing? Alle Jüngler haben herabgelost die Cap. All the children lowered their heads. Hat nicht gefunden, kein anderer Ausweg anzuschreien auf Moshe Guffe. So he couldn't find any way to yell at Moshekin's body. Guffe. Inmitten lernen go, so comets lamed la.
Yeah.
Wait. What is it? All the children, the Melamed couldn't find any other way than to yell at. He turns on the victim.
Anzuschreien auf Moshekin's
Gufa.
body.
He turns
Guffe.
on
Moshe himself.
Moshe
Gufa is
Moshe
turns on
himself.
Moshe.
Okay, inmitten lernen go, in the middle of teaching, so comets lamed law. Erst it's the Moshe achlippe getan.
Thank you so much, Golden.
And that was the first time that Moshe achlippe, you know, sometimes when you cry, it doesn't come out, you go, because the inside is crying more than the outside. And that's what a chlippe is.
A sob.
Sob.
It's more than a sob. It's a sob that comes from your heart that you've kept in for too long.
It's interesting. I didn't know.
No. Hat dem Hirschel der Melamed genommen today's auf sein Steiger. Es ist gar nicht. Es ist als man weiß nicht, wer es ist, der Tate. So sag she, Mosheke, komm jetzt mit La, schrei auf ihn. But you know, now the teacher it's too late. He started the whole thing. But the Marshall teacher became a little warmer, and he said, "It's nothing. It's just we don't know who the father is. So say, come Islamed, Lord, scream it out. Na von Sogsche und schrei auf ihn ist heintig mal gar nicht herausgekommen."
Golden Age, wonderful. Wonderful that you're here. Wonderful that you're reading. And you
Oh.
This is the
host
last
this
one
and
of the
host
day. This is
more.
the last aliyah of the day. This is the Haftorah.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the sixth aliyah. Sixth.
Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning of the paragraph.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Nur von Sogja und Schreiafim ist heintigen mal gar nicht herausgekommen. But from what the Rebbe said, say it, shout at it, at the Lamed Aleph law. This time,
That word, Zogja, the Zion Shin Ayin, like, you know, during the war, they should open a front already. Say it already. Say it already. Happen. Make it happen already. Say it already. Zogja. Say it already.
okay. It's really a word that doesn't have an English equivalent.
No, but it's already. Do it
Already.
already. Do it already.
Okay, so this time it's nothing came out from saying these words. Zogja her, zogja hin. Moisheke hat nicht gewusst, auf was für eine Welt is. So say it already here or there. Moisheke didn't know in which world he was. He was completely confused. Die Augen seinen gewinn verlaufen mit Tränen. His eyes were streaming with tears. Der Rebbe mit dem Aleph-Beis seinen zerschwommen in ein grünen Fleck. The Rebbe and his Aleph-Beis were sort of merged into one big gray spot. Und Hirschel hat im Sof kol Sof gemusst herablassen vom Bänkel. And eventually,
Absetzen.
herabsetzen. Herschel eventually had to remove him from the bench. Atzint hat sich Moisheke kaum der Wart auf der Zeit von Warmes. And then eventually, now Moisheke could hardly wait for the lunch break. Und wo nur der Rebbe hat geheißen gehen, hat Moisheke nicht umguckendig sich auf keinem gehabt laufen. And as soon as the Rebbe said that they could go, Moisheke, without looking around, ran off. He started running home. Schier nicht umgelaufen, umgefallen über dem Rebbetzens Backlappete in Kochstub. And he almost tripped over the Rebbetzens baking spatula in the kitchen. In Kivas Stub ist reingefallen wie eine kleine verwundete Chaie und bald geklemmt in Scheres Fartech mit beiden Händlern. And in Kiva's house, he rushed into the house like a small dazed animal, and immediately buried his face in Shera's apron with both hands. Dem Kopf reingetuliert in ihr eingefallenem Bauch von einer Bezdetnitzer, and his head he buried his head in her sunken belly, the sunken belly of a childless woman.
We can never forget that she's childless.
Yeah, always, yeah.
No, never forget it. Never forget it.
Yeah.
Yankov, never forget it.
Ja. Zij sagen, zij alle sagen nach mir. So all of them, they all say about me. Was sagen zij, Zunele? As was? What do they say, my boy? What do they say? Moshe antwortet nicht, nor tuliert sich noch starker. Moshe didn't answer, but he cuddled even more strongly. As was reißt die Schere op von ihr fertig und guckt ihm rein in die Augen. As was sagen sie? So she says, what do they say? And she tore him from her apron and looked him straight in the eyes. What do they say? As ich bin a mamzer, ret Moshe koimarois. They say that I am a mamzer. He could hardly get the words out. He could hardly say it. Stere starbt a regele op die flinke Zunge. Nur bald lebt sie op und hebt on zu schilten. So Stere froze for a moment. Her tongue froze her agile tongue froze for a moment. But immediately it revived and she began to curse. Tfu, tfu, tfu. Am Mageifer und am Huma auf Zera Elements Kep. It's like tfu, 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 spitting 3 times. A plague, the devil take all of them. Wer hat das dir gesagt? Zog. Who said this to you? Tell. Schleimke Puppik. Azar Svolitz. Azar Marjavitz. So the dirty dog. I don't know what a Marjavitz is.
What I saw is a swine, a pig,
What? What did you
Okay.
say?
a chazer,
A swine.
Fine.
a swine, yeah.
A marzevitz. Oh wow, it's great. That's some Slavic language.
Okay, something not good.
Yes.
Like mom's.
Ja. Ot will ich gehen, will ich und die hintische Euren will ich immer ausdrehen. I'll go and I'll grab his hintische, his dog ears, and I'll twist them around. Und Schere sieht und kocht a ganze warmes. And Schere cursed, and she was enraged for the whole meal. A para setzt von Kedupnik. Von Krupnik, it should be, I think.
I think it's
Von
Krupnik. The famous Krupnik,
Yeah.
which we all grew up on, you know. We all ate Krupnik, right?
Yeah, but it's got a dalet there, but
Yeah,
it should be Krupnik.
it's Krupnik.
Ja. Und von ihr Mäul Flamm und Fire. So there was like a vapor coming from the barley soup, and from her mouth, flames and fire. Kiva Betsy, sie soll sich beruhigen. Kiva said, calm down. Nor's helped nicht, but it didn't help. Bald noch warmes, gabt sie on Moscheken für a Händel und lässt sich herein zu Hirschelen in Cheder. So immediately after the meal, she grabbed Moshe's hand and went into Hirschele's Cheder. Die Talmidimlich haben sich noch nicht umgekehrt von Mittag. So the pupils hadn't yet returned from lunch. Nor Stern artist nicht, but it didn't bother Stern. Sie können sich mehr nicht einhalten, dem kochedicken Zorn. She couldn't hold this anger, the raging anger in her any longer. Der Rebbitzens Loppete, welche liegt allemal popperig iberen Pripetschik und Backdeige warft Stere op wie a schwachen Schliabum und geht durch. So the Rebbitzin spatula, which always stood across the hearth, the pripachik, and the bakdaija is the kneading trough. Shera just flung it aside like a weak barrier, and she went through. Inmitten milchigen Krupnik fällt sie Hirschelen herein und on Shum Hakdomes nimmt sie ihm auf ein Zimbel. So without, in the middle of Hirschelen's milchige barley soup, she stormed in and without any introduction, she began to
I believe cymbal is a musical instrument,
right.
and yeah, they played cymbal for Yiddish music.
But it's in my dictionary it says she began to interrogate.
Oh, okay, that's probably an expression. Nehmen
Yeah.
Nimetsen auf ein cymbal is like, yeah, I didn't know that. Interrogate. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You know, just 1 minute. You know, you remember when we started, when Moishika started the Cheder, and there was that barrier. That was a barrier. That was a boundary, and Kiva could not cross that boundary. But here,
Right.
Shera, she's not. There's no boundary for this person. Her anger is
yeah,
such
good.
that she. All right,
Good.
friends. This is it for me. It was lovely. Thank you.
I don't know whether I can hold myself back. I have to know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh,
Golda, you will not enjoy what's going to happen. But anyway, be as long as
No,
we're together.
I think that she's gonna give everyone pulver to schmecken.
Yeah.